Gemini from the series Zodiac Landscape by Yoshida Hodaka, 1973. Photo etching and woodblock print, ink and colors on paper. This colorful print on paper by Yoshida Hodaka, entitled Gemini from the 1973 Zodiac Landscape series, combines photo etching and woodblock printing. It is approximately 20 inches high by 15 inches wide. At first glance, the whole piece comes across as a mountain landscape, with large boulders in the foreground, a forest nestled into valleys, distant peaks, and a mountain lake. Quickly, the viewer realizes that every element of the landscape is a finely detailed photographic image in duplicate, each pair rendered in black outlines or a dark and light shade of blue, green, or gold. These pairs, or twins, celebrate the sign of the zodiac depicted here, Gemini. Hodaka's skillful handling of these out-of-scale images creates an engaging, fantastical, and thoughtful interplay with the visitor, urging us to immediately look more closely and discover the secrets in the composition. The foreground fills the lower left quadrant of the frame and appears as large, smooth granite boulders. Tucked into the crevices of the bright beige shapes are a pair of large, buff-colored roosters descending diagonally toward the center. To their right is a pair of smaller black terriers and a couple of medium gray snails. Two beetles the same color as the rocks crawl up the edge of the far left corner. Two large bullseyes of black and light gold circles sit angled diagonally upward toward the northeast, one in the far foreground, just left of the bottom center, and the other in the midground, tucked slightly behind and to the right side of the largest boulder. They appear to emerge from the lake like surreal, wide-open eyes, staring up at the sky, mesmerized. The lake in the lower right quadrant is a vibrant aqua and contains two fish swimming towards the center. The distance of the lake's farther shore is indicated by thin, parallel, horizontal lines that are increasingly close together as our eye travels up the print. The middle section initially reads as a forest, but the trees are actually a group of Hodaka's smiling young adult students, standing in various casual postures, colored in a bright blue-green. Their torsos are visible to us. The second twin student group image is stacked above the first and is a darker and duller forest green. Just in front of the students, a double image of Hodaka's own head appears in contrasting light green. To the right of this forest, just above the waterline, appears a pair of buff-colored tiger heads and aqua butterflies. The gently sloping foothills on the upper left side of the frame are defined by the double form of a reclining female nude lying on her side and facing forward. Her hands reach down to cover her genitals, and her head, left arm, and hip form the smooth contour of the hill. The lower of the two is a bright green, and the one above, appearing further away, is a deep cobalt blue. Dominating the center background, also in cobalt, are two mountain peaks embodied by a double image of a stylish person wearing a bowler hat and an overcoat that swings open, creating the A shape of the mountains. The two figures are close together, and we see only the top 2/3 of their bodies. This figure's breezy attitude emphasizes the whimsy in this piece and nods to the freedom of the pop art movement. The final element is the sky, which occupies the top third of the frame. Like the lake, it is filled with fine, parallel, horizontal lines over a gradient of light blue behind the mountains, then changing to a deeper blue in the sky overhead. Two aqua-colored birds with long beaks fly above the peaks, while a pair of white geese skim the foothills, and two stars twinkle on the right horizon. Ever the artistic explorer, Hodaka embraced the avant-garde values of pop art after his visit to New York. He also regarded his work as a poem that substituted shapes for words. Hodaka's process combined etching on metal with a woodblock carving to create the templates he needed. The variously scaled images were drawn from many sources. The photographic images were etched with acid applied to a zinc plate. Hodaka then used a woodblock technique to add each of the vivid colors to the landscape. This unique combination of Hodaka's own devising opened up a new frontier in printing.